Hello, hello, hello. My name is Amista, and we're here to do some tarot reading and a little bit of chit chat today. So I am going to clear the tarot deck, and then after that, our first spread will be about best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours. And then after that, we'll see what else comes up as people show up in the room. We'll get it all figured out. And I am sitting here in front of this camera looking at my hair and going, oh my goodness. I should have looked at it before I turned the camera on and run a comb through it or a brush. Well, it is what it is, right, guys? Happy Saturday evening to you. Hello there, Nomad. Welcome, welcome. How are you, honey? How are you? Boop-a-doo-doo. We're going to use my new deck today. I've been studying this deck for a long time. I've been posting about it on Facebook. Other people have been studying it with me. It's so beautiful. I almost didn't want to use it for the public, but we're going to. I can't get a deck and not use it for the public. I don't know how. I'm glad that you're doing all right for the most part. We're just going to focus on the most part then. The more happiness making stuff we can focus on, the more happiness making stuff we can create. This is the Enchanted Forest Tarot. Here's what the back looks like. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous artwork. Nice little concepts in here. Some of these cards look very different than the traditional Rider-Waite, but the ideas are generally the same. Sometimes they're a little bit comical. I really enjoy this deck a lot. All right. It's very creative. I'm drawn to decks really for their artwork. Well, for a few reasons. First of all, artwork. Secondly, if it has a lot to do with nature, if it has like a druid feel or a Celtic feel, either one of those, that's what really draws me in. And I bought this deck. I had been hearing people talk about fairies, and people that I respect actually were talking about fairies. And I was just like, okay, well, if these people believe in them and have had experiences with them, then maybe there's something to that. I want to understand more. And so this deck was an interesting one that just kind of made itself known to me right about then. So it's been a little journey. All right, best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours for whoever is trying to manifest something. Let's see what we have. Fairies are more related to the earth, where angels are more related to the ethers or the heavens. Fairies tend to look out for the plants and the animals of the earth. At least that's the way I understand it. All right, best manifestation advice, what we have shown up here. Starting off with the Keeper of Boons, trying to get out of the glare and let you see the picture. This would be like a King of Pentacles. You can see like he's almost like in a crystal cave. He's got something to drink. He's got his little crystals in front of him, his magic wand, his pendulum. So when we've got the Keeper of Boons, this talks about manifesting something that makes us feel secure and stable and steady. This would be like a king of the earth signs. Yeah, meditation or some kind of spiritual practice for sure. And then we have that followed by, I love the name of this card. This guy's the Black Shook. Shuck. The Black Shook. You can see he's kind of breathing steam. It must be cold outside. Those eyes are kind of creepy. He looks like a little bit of a cross between a wolf and a wild dog. Yeah. So the Black Shook talks about this idea of transformation, transmuting things, taking them from one thing to another. You can see with this card, there's the lightning behind the implication of that power and the mists. Sometimes the mystery as we change from one thing to another, we may not know really where we're going to land. So we have this idea of the stability and the security and making some changes to bring about the stability and the security. Well, why are we making some changes? Well, we're making some changes because we're stressed out. This is the nine of challenges. You can almost see the guy in the tree sort of reaching for the kid that's all scrunched up in the roots. Little mushrooms around, little critters keeping an eye out. The moon off in the distance. Such a pretty card. But it does talk about stress. You can see he's hiding. He's not really facing that tree that looks all funky in the moonlight. He's hiding. So basically, this talks about the idea that, we kind of went backwards on our manifestation advice here. We went for what do we want to create? We want to create that stability and security. What's it going to take to do that? It's going to take change. And why are we motivated to make that change? Because we're really stressed out because we don't have the security and the stability that we would like to have. You could go life to death. You can go death to life. Boo-ba-da-doo-doo. Boo-ba-da-doo. We've definitely got some eclipse energy still active. Plus, we've got how many retrogrades right now? 3 going on 4? Everybody's dealing with something. We're either holding space for people who are dealing with something or we're dealing with something. Gosh, I can't believe I didn't brush my hair before I threw this headset on. Feel like a wild woman. Yeah, or both. All right. So if there's anybody in the room that wants a reading, I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10. And whoever picks the number I just wrote down and circled first is going to be the next person I read for. I was talking to somebody about getting some kind of dice. She was telling me there's dice with like 21 sides on it. That might be fun. Oh, and look, she's right here. 9 is not it. 8 is not it. 3 is not it. Boopity doo doo doo. 10 is not it. 7 is it. No mad. Okay. Desiree, do you have a question for me today or do you want a message from Spirit? Boopity doo doo. Boopity doo doo. Boopity doo 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 doo. Message. Okay. Best message for Miss Desiree today. Remember, this can be past, present, or future. And I don't set the topic. Sacred Spirit does that as well. Okay, so first 2 cards coming out are what Sacred Spirit wants to talk to you about. The next 3 cards are going to be best advice or heads up around that situation. So what do we need to talk about? Interesting. The 2 of bows. I don't know how well you can see this here, but you can see this troll underneath the bridge. Isn't he fun? And the guy carrying, are they calling it bows? 2 of boons. 2 of boons, excuse me. In this deck, that would be like the 2 of pentacles. So that makes more sense to me too. So he's carrying this load across the bridge. There's the troll getting ready to scare him or maybe take his load or whatever. But he seems to be handling it just fine. He's not dropping anything. He's just going right on across. Okay, so this talks about having a full plate, having a lot of things to take care of or a lot of things to do. Okay, and this is covered by the seeker of visions. This would be like a Princess of Cups, or excuse me, Princess? Prince. I think this would be the Prince of Cups, actually. So we've got a seeker of visions. This is somebody who can be a little bit naive. This is somebody who operates from feelings. They kind of look at the world through rose-colored glasses. They're a little bit romantic. They just expect the best in people. They haven't been made hard and crusty by life experiences yet. Maybe they won't be. Maybe this is just their personality. Okay. So I think you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who's a little bit naive. Maybe they don't even realize what all they're getting into. And they are juggling quite a few responsibilities. All right. I don't really feel like this is you with the secret visions coming up, or maybe it is. I mean, it could be you that you're just thinking, oh, I can handle all that easy peasy. Here I go. Could be. It doesn't have to be, though. I kind of don't get that impression. I think it's somebody around you that may be impacting you. Maybe somebody who's thinking, oh, I can handle all this easy peasy. And then somehow they can't. They can until they can't. And then you're left picking up the pieces. I don't know. Let's see. What do our next cards say? Best advice or heads up around this situation? Yep. Child of visions. This talks about somebody letting you know what they think of you, how much they appreciate you, that type of thing. Boy, these cards are glossy, aren't they? Six of Boons. This talks about making things even, making things fair. Somebody may even be paying you for something, but you can see there's all these rabbits. This is talking about abundance, you know, and this is more abundance from earned money. So with this, what did we have with this child of visions and that six of boons? It could be that somebody is showing their appreciation to you through pay, through money, or through some other kind of tangible um, asset. And it very well could be our naive person that's got a lot going on. Maybe they need your help and they're willing to pay for it. And we have the three of challenges here. This talks about heartbreak. And it tells me basically that I really think what's going on here is you've got somebody that's taken on more than their share of work, more than they can handle. They didn't realize it at the time. Now they're understanding it. Now they're saying, man, I could really use your help. You would be doing me such a big favor if you did this. I'll even pay you for it. But at the same time, I think they're very sad to not be able to handle everything that they agreed to. Now, the story in the book about this card is quite interesting. I don't know how well you can see it, but in the background, you can see two little children on the path, and dad is crying as he walks away from them. Well, the story in the book says that dad feels like they would be better off without him, so he's just abandoning them in the forest, even though it's not an easy decision to make. So that's why I think this person is feels like they're kind of abandoning their project whenever they turn it over to you. It gives them some heartache. I don't think that there's anything to do with whether you can do it or not. I think you can do it just fine. I think it's hard on them. Hope that makes sense for you. If it doesn't yet, it will soon. All right, so let's see. Picking another number between 1 and 10. I have it circled now. Whoever puts that number in the chat next will be the next person I read for, number between 1 and 10. It is very interesting, isn't it? 3 is not it. Number between 1 and 10. Guys, don't forget to put a thumbs up on this video if you're benefiting from it. Also, share it with other people who might like to have a little micro reading as well. Thank you for the hearts. 1 is not it. Number between 1 and 10. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. 5 is not it. Number between 1 and 10. Whoever wants to put the number that I just wrote down and circled in the chat first will be the next person I read for today. 8 is not it. Bo-ba-da-doo-doo, number between 1 and 10. I know there's other people in the room. Nobody else wants a reading? Boo-ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. 7 is not it. It's close, but it's not it. 7 was the last one I did. Boo-ba-da-doo-doo. Boo-ba-da-doo-doo. 6 it is. 6 it is. All right. Is this for Andrew this time, Jen? Boo-ba-doo. Or is this for you? Oh, he's probably not even home, is he? Message for Blue. Okay. All right. Bluey, blue, blue. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay. So, Blue, here's the deal. You just had your first card fall, by the way. Mm. All right. So, oh, wait. Look at this, Jen. This is the same card that came up earlier. And I was like, oh, I think maybe this is about blue. All the blue in that card. All right. So, I think I'm going to shuffle this back in. That's just Spirit just letting us know. Yes, we know who this is about. So we're going to shuffle that back in. All right. So here's the deal, Blue. This is a message from Spirit. That's what I call this spread. First two cards are going to be something that Sacred Spirit wants to talk to you about. Okay. I don't set the topic. I also don't set the time frame. This can be past, present, or future. Okay. If it's the past, of course, you'll recognize it. If the present, always you'll recognize that too. If it's the future, well, you'll recognize it within a couple of days for this spread. I do go longer in the future on other spreads, but not on this one. And then we're going to look at my next three cards are going to be best advice or heads up around that situation. So sometimes if it's a past situation, you're getting a different perspective on that situation than you had. You're getting more of a spirit perspective. If it's present, obviously advice, insight. And if it's future, same thing, advice and insight that you're going to need whenever it comes up. So let's get some cards down for Blue. Blue, bitty, blue, 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 blue. Wow, you've got lots of majors here. Okay. Your last three cards are all major arcana. All right, so let's look at your situation. Oh, we're getting a couple of repeaters. So first of all, for your situation, we have the Two of Boons coming up in reverse. Two of Boons, by the way, everybody else look out for piggyback messages. Two of Boons coming up in reverse just means that you've got a whole lot on your plate. And when it's in reverse, it means, ooh, something's falling through the cracks. Can't quite cover everything. You mean you're not Wonder Woman? All right, now what's that covered by? That is covered by the Keeper of Boons, but he's in reverse. So this kind of tells me that this has to do with one of two things. This has to do with you're either dropping some kind of responsibility that you have towards your health and not taking good care of your health, or maybe there's something going on with your pay and you're not able to cover a bill, one or the other. Sometimes both. You're going to know. I don't exactly. But that's the context we have coming up. Something's fallen through the cracks, whether it's your own self-care or whether it is finances, you're going to know that. All right, now let's look at your best advice or heads up around this situation. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right. Starting off with Moonlight showing up in reverse. Moonlight in reverse says that there's some kind of information that has been just underneath your nose, but not quite visible yet. And that information is coming up now with this Moonlight card in reverse. So some kind of information coming out. You probably knew 2 and 2 weren't making 4, so you knew something was wrong, something was missing, but you couldn't quite put your fingers on it. Now that information is here. You're not having to dig for it, by the way. It just shows up. It sort of floats to the surface, is how I like to say it. The card after that is my suspension card coming up in reverse. All right. So this guy is suspended in amber inside a tree trunk, but he's in reverse. So when we've got the suspended man, When he's right side up, this is talking about, looking at things through a different perspective, different angles. When he's in reverse, this says, I've taken the time to really think about this. Look, you just got new information right before you get this. And by the way, I talk about this all as if it's present, even though it might be past or future, just because the cards are on the table in front of me now. So you just got this information that made things clear. Now we see that what you do next is you take some time to really think about this, look at this from all the different angles, make sure you're not making a hasty decision, but working on making a decision that's queued up by this new information that shows up here. Okay. Now, what we have showing up here is the strength card in reverse. Now, this can talk about not being in the best of health. This can say, I'm having to make this decision because I'm catching that, I'm letting things slip and my health is not great. It can also talk about your self esteem. Okay. I don't know why I'm treating this like it's the strength card. It's the starlight card, but comes across like strength to me. So this basically says either your health or your self-esteem has kind of taken a nosedive because of some new information that has come up that you've had to really think about what I want to do with this. You're not really quite sure, even once you think about it, what you exactly want to do with this. I think you know. I think you just don't necessarily have the willpower to move forward with what you know with this card because of, I think that's because of the self-esteem. There's a little bit of a self-esteem here with this new information that comes up. Okay. So this new information, maybe, you haven't been taking care of your health so well and something pops up on you and you're just like, man, I knew better than that. And you're beating yourself up. First of all, don't beat yourself up. Or maybe there's some kind of bill that you can't pay and you're feeling all bad about it. Don't beat yourself up. All you can do is do your best. Do your best. Okay. And it's important that you take the time whenever this information comes out to really think things over and look at it from all different perspectives so that you can figure out how to move forward. Don't allow yourself to lose your self-esteem when you're trying to make an important decision. Recognize that everything that you are doing for a reason. It may be a response to a completely insane situation, but it's a sane response to an insane situation. So don't beat yourself up. Because if you can do this without beating yourself up, then you find your clarity around this situation once this information shows up and you have no problem following through on that clarity. Okay? Hope that makes sense for you, my friend. All right. Anybody else in the room that wants a reading? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Anybody else in the room that wants a reading? Boobity doo doo. Just say so. You're quite welcome. Did it resonate with her? Does she know what it's about yet? Anybody else in the room that wants a reading, you're going to have to say so. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here pretty quick here. Boop-ba-da-doo-doo. Not fully. Okay. Let it soak in a little bit. Sometimes even after I do a reading for myself, I have to sleep on it. And then the next day I'll wake up and I'm like, I know exactly what that's about. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody else wants a reading in the room tonight. So it's time for me to take off. Y'all have a fantastic evening. Thank you for keeping me company here tonight. And I'll see you guys back on the next video. Peace out.